Hi, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Callie. I am an academic advisor and instructor at a university in North Carolina. Today's video was requested by Mackenzie Moore, and it's just basically kind of how I got to where I am kind of video. So we'll start with, I actually started my bachelor's degree in 2011, and I earned that in zoology, and I got a minor in nonprofit studies. During my time at college, when I was first here, I thought I was going to go to vet school. That was my plan all along. I was going to be a veterinarian. That later morphed into I was going to be a zoo veterinarian. And then I realized I really did not like blood and surgery. So I nixed that idea. But I became involved in a club at my university that was a local chapter of Jane Goodall's Roots and Shoots, and our particular club was focused on wildlife conservation. So I got to learn a lot about conservation and wildlife research, and that's what kind of started my interest in wildlife research. While I was in undergrad, I did a few internships that related to working with wildlife. I did one with a nonprofit where I tracked box turtle movements using radio telemetry. And then I also provided education and outreach with some of their ambassador animals like snakes and box turtles and raptors and other reptiles. And I also spent a summer in Arizona working alongside a grad student to help her with her master's thesis research, which focused on the relationship between personality and dispersal, home site or birth site dispersal of juvenile cliff chipmunks. So I was very interested in wildlife research, particularly movement ecology. Both of those projects focused on movement ecology of wildlife. Right before I was getting ready to graduate with my bachelor's degree in 2015, I accepted a position with AmeriCorps, which is similar to the Peace Corps in that it's a service program. AmeriCorps has all kinds of different service programs. They're not all humanitarian type, which is what you tend to associate more with Peace Corps. But I took a position doing stormwater outreach and education. It was a 10-month service term, and I signed on to that, and then not very long after that, I got an email from a professor at my university who basically said, hey, I have funding for a research project, and I'm looking to bring on a student as a graduate research assistant, and you were really recommended by another professor, another faculty member. Would you like to get your master's degree for basically free? And at first I said, no, I can't do that. I took an AmeriCorps position. I can't go back on my word. And my mom said, whoa. You need to hear him out. So I met with him, and he offered the opportunity for me to push it back a semester and start the following spring, which worked out really nice because I'd already put a deposit down on a rental house with my now husband in a different town where the AmeriCorps position was centered. So I started that right as I was finishing up my AmeriCorps position, and started in the spring. So while I was doing that AmeriCorps position, I was working with local partners and towns and schools to provide, like I said, stormwater education and outreach and water quality education. I did a lot of work with schools, and I really enjoyed teaching, and that's kind of where my love of teaching started. When I came back to start my master's degree, I did the research that I was brought on to do, and I also was involved with environmental education and outreach with that, which I also really liked. I finished that in December of 2018. So that degree was a Master's of Science in Fisheries, Wildlife, and Conservation Biology. Then I chose to go into teaching public high school. I taught earth and environmental science at a local high school about 30 minutes away from where I live. And ultimately, like I said, my love of teaching had already started to blossom, but I was concerned, with the lack of understanding, the public's lack of understanding of what was actually happening within the scientific community. And part of that falls in, a lack of understanding scientific principles, but also just scientists not being great about explaining what's happening in the scientific world, which I'm sure we saw a lot of that with the pandemic and just people not understanding, the science. And so that's what led me to want to teach high school science and remedy that by working with, the next generation. I also was working to complete my lateral entry training during this time because I didn't get a degree in education, so I actually had to complete additional training. And I taught for 2.5 years, and at the end of the day, the bureaucracy of public education, presented a lot of challenges. And as time went on, I found that I was having less and less autonomy and less say in how I was teaching the material and what I was doing with my students. And that, coupled with the effect that position was taking on my mental health, led me to look for other opportunities. I do have a video on my channel about talking about my resignation from teaching, so feel free to check that out if you want some more information. When I started college, I was a first-generation low-income college student. I struggled a lot academically and personally. I had just a lot of stuff going on, and I found a lot of support in my mentors, specifically my academic coach through Trio Support Services, which is a federal program. Through the program at our university, I found a lot of support there, and that really made a world of difference for me. So when I found the posting for this current position, I feel like it was a really great fit for me for a number of reasons. So first, it's the same university that I attended for my bachelor's and my master's degree, and so I, understand the community, I understand the culture and the curricula, so I felt like that would be really beneficial to students and myself. And second, it allowed me to support students in a difficult transitional time in their lives. Again, that same time that when I was in that same time of my life, I was experiencing a lot of challenges. And last, it allowed me the opportunity to keep teaching. So I was able to, that's not my primary role. Academic advising is my primary role, but in this program, I do teach the students I advise in a 1 credit hour transition class. So I get, extra time to work with students and develop those relationships, which is really important to me. So this is my first position in academic advising. I did, some informal mentoring, and I coached, JV cheerleading while I was teaching high school, but this is my first formal academic advising position. And my university does offer some training sessions on advising technology and supporting different students. And I've been involved in NACADA, which is the National Academic Advising Association. And I found that to be very helpful and informative. I actually went to the national conference, NACADA's national conference this year, and I actually have a vlog hopefully coming out about that soon. But I didn't have any formal training in advising when I got this job, but I came into it with passion and with a willingness to learn and a desire to make an impact. And I think all of that really goes a long way. And so that's my journey. I mean, that's how I got to be where I am. I made a lot of connections, got a lot of good references along the way, and a lot of people who had seen me work hard and were willing to say, maybe she doesn't have the same experiences that some other professionals have, but she'll come in and she'll give it 110%, and that really made a difference, I think. So I'm always telling my students, work really hard and show people that you want to work really hard, because that does have an impact. I just want to say thank you for watching. Thank you to Mackenzie for requesting the video. And thank you all for supporting me. Things have been really chaotic right now with work, as the second advisor in our program actually took on a new role right before the start of the school year, and my supervisor was out on leave for a few months, so that left me running the whole program as a one-man show. And then, mid-October to mid-November is advising season, when students are registering for the next semester. And so with 160 plus students on my caseload, it was just really chaotic. So I appreciate all of your patience with that, and still supporting me even when there's little lulls in between some videos. So as always, if you like this video, please subscribe. I'd love to have you around. If you have questions, please drop them in the comments below and I'll answer them the best I can. Thanks so much. See you next time.